All right, well, welcome everybody to this week's client support webinar. My name is Bennett McDowell. Today, of course, is January 10th, 2024, and Happy New Year to everybody. All right, a few administrational items to go over first. What I'd like you to do is if you have any questions, go ahead and type those in the questions window box. All right, so locate that on your webinar software and we'll be good to go on that. All right, let me go through these administrational items and get those tucked out of the way here. First thing I need to talk about are the risks involved in trading. Like I always say, without risk, there is no opportunity in the life we live here. So you have to realize that in order to get someplace, you're gonna have to take a little risk. The situation though requires that you know what the risk is, and then of course, plan for it as best you can. In trading, there's two types of ways that we really protect ourselves against risk. One is always trade with money we can afford to risk. In other words, money we can afford to lose if everything goes wrong. All right, that's called risk capital. The other thing to do is make sure you know how to calculate your trade size, also known in the industry as your position size, when you take every trade, whether it's long or short, stocks or commodities, day trading or position trading, doesn't matter. You always want to be able to calculate that trade size on every trade. And I have several books on that. I'll show you a couple in a minute that can help you with that. And then also too, if we look up any stocks or if you ask me for an analysis, those are my opinions based on the way in which I analyze the markets. So you need to check with your financial advisor if I say something is a buy, to make sure it's suitable for you, because we don't know your personal situation, and of course they do. And then finally, we deal in a realm of probabilities in the market. So even if we have a proven edge, we don't always win, and that's where risk control comes into play. But the idea is you want to have an edge in the market, and to achieve that edge, you need to do the hard work of testing and coming up with a viable trading set of rules that you can follow. And that's really important. And then once you have that edge, then it's a game of probabilities. So keep that in mind. Past performance, of course, does not guarantee future performance. All right, so a couple books I want you to notice here are the money management books. I've got a comprehensive book on the far left called The Trader's Money Management System. And then my second book from the right is Money Management for Traders. And the Money Management for Traders basically is a book that I wrote last year. The first book came out quite a while ago, but what I wanted to do with the Money Management for Traders book is really provide you an easy to follow, concise set of rules so you can add those into your trading rules very easily. And so it's a very concise but comprehensive enough book for you to implement a good solid risk control program into your trading. So that's Money Management for Traders. All right, my new book, The Art of Trading, second edition, is coming out this year. All right, my first edition came out in 2008, and so it's time for the second edition. So my publisher, Wiley, contacted me last year, and I've been working on that very hard to get that really to be a comprehensive book, including all the latest software that we have as well. So you can pre-order that, and you can get to our Amazon order page, which is a custom page right through our website. And then I have a book on Elliott wave techniques, simplified. This is a form of technical analysis where it assigns waves to certain movements in the markets. And I have been using that for quite some time. I love it. All right, it's basically, I call that the roadmap of the markets. So it gives me an idea of price targets, it gives me an idea of what cycle we're in the markets and so forth. And then I have the survival guide for traders there, which is a reference on how to run your trading business like a professional hedge fund with today's technology right from your home. So those are the books that are available for you on our website. All right, so we also are going to look at charts using the trading system, which is probably why most of you are here. You have probably owned a part or maybe all of our software. You can buy it as a bundle. You can buy it a la carte. We have software, which is represented by the top row there. That's our charting software, and that includes the art OWL, PTF, TLM, and ERI indicators. So those are, go right on your chart. You load those on any chart you're looking at, any time frame. And they look at price patterns, they look at momentum, they have indicators at the bottom. And basically, we teach you how to implement them. So when you get a signal generated by the ART system, then we confirm that signal through the OWL, PTF, and TLM. And then under that is our scanners, where we actually can scan for markets on certain technical things we look for. For example, we have a multiple time frame scanner that analyzes short, medium, and long-term charts. And when they coincide with each other, you can easily see that and take a look at that market for a trade. We have the Trade Confirmer software, which is looking at the OWL, PTF, and TLM on any individual chart. And so if you load a bunch of charts in the scanner, it's an easy way to see what the OWL is doing, what the PTF is doing, and the TLM. And then we have the Turbo Scanner, which basically is looking for pyramids and everything involved with the ART software, including bracketed markets, breakout markets, consecutive Ps in a row, etc. And then finally, the Elliott Wave Scanner, which is looking for Elliott Wave 3 and 5s in the market. Very helpful if you like the Elliott Wave. And then also at the bottom is our risk control software. So my feeling on a trading system like this is that most systems out there will give you some form of entry and exit. However, not all systems give you tools to scan the market for looking for setup. So you have to be able to go through the thousands of markets out there and find the ones that fit a possible good trade based on the technicals you're looking at. That's the purpose of the scanners. And then you got to have risk control on each and every trade. I can't tell you how many webinars I used to go to back in the 90s where all they focused on was entries. They really very rarely talked about risk control. It was always you go in here and you make a fortune here. Well, the reality is it doesn't work quite that easy, right? So you're going, even with a proven system, you're going to have losses. So you got to keep those losses as small as possible. And that's where the risk control software comes into play. So because we try to cover all these major parts of trading, we call this the ultimate trading system. And you can purchase some or all of that software on our website as well. All right, so let me open it up to questions here. All right, I've got GBTC. I'll take a look at that. When I analyze markets, that's a great way for you to learn how to use the software at all. But anybody having any trouble out there with their software or anything of that nature? How many people are using NinjaTrader, out of curiosity? And let me ask you a question. How many people are using the newer version of NinjaTrader that requires you to log in with a username and password? I'm using the legacy version here still, but we have a lot of our traders using the newer version. And so I always like to get feedback on how they're doing with that. All right, our software has been tested, works fine on the newer version. All right, so a little bit of mixed feelings on the newer version. You should be able to get free data in that. Some people say you have it. It's not right in front of your face when you load. You know how when you load the software and you come here under connections, okay? You have to configure that even for the free data. On the legacy version, it gives you the free data as a choice right away. It's right in your face. But you don't have that on the newer version from my understanding. So, but it is available for you. You just have to understand. And I'm understanding as well that you can go ahead and contact NinjaTrader either through email or a telephone call now. And they can hopefully help you or guide you to get that set up correctly. All right. Now, also too, don't forget we have a forum area, all right, in the client support area. How many people are familiar with that? Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, so a lot of people will know it. If you don't know where the forum area is, it's in the client support area. So that's when you log into that area using your username and password, you have access to that. Also, you have access to a lot of information there. That's where you download the software and so forth. One of the questions I see coming in is how do you download the software? Okay, so you have to log into that client support area, and then you have to go to the software download area, and you click on that, and then it's going to have the different software by charting platform. So our software basically are put into what we call zip files. So we have a zip file for Ninja, a zip file for TradeStation, zip file for eSignal, et cetera, et cetera. Now in the zip file, when you install the software, it basically installs all of our platform software. So that includes the ART, the OWL, PTF, all right, all the indicators, everything, plus the scanners, if your charting platform is compatible with the scanners, and also the, I guess that's it. I guess that's just the scanners and that. The risk control software is a separate download, all right, because that's those are standalone packages. So the idea is that if you're using NinjaTrader, TradeStation, or multi-charts, all right, you can run our scanners. If you're using eSignal or MT4, MT5, the scanners do not work in those platforms, okay, simply because they, for example, MT4 doesn't really have a scanner, okay, things like that. All right, so that's kind of important to know. The next thing is you have to know how to open a zip file. You basically, with Windows 11 these days or 10, you just have to click on the zip file and it opens up, and then you'll see another folder inside it that is accessible just like any other folder on your computer. The reason we package everything in a zip file is because it makes it faster for you to download that, and it usually is treated like a file. Whereas if you download a folder with installation exe files in it, it can cause some problems on virus softwares and things of that nature. So please be aware of that. So when you open that zip file, and please remember where you download it to so you can find it. But when you open it, all right, you're going to see some folders inside of it. Plus, you're going to see a setup.exe file. And that setup.exe file, of course, is the installer. When you run that installer, you need to have the charting platform closed. Okay, so please remember that. And it's very simple. You don't have to go into any of the fancy areas. I get a lot of these questions here, which is why I'm covering it. You don't have to go into the Ninja, remove any scripts or anything like that. Don't go there. Just run the setup.exe file with Ninja closed, or TradeStation closed for that matter, or eSignal closed, and then just run it and follow the installer, okay? And once that's done, then from there, you open up the charting platform and you load the indicators on a chart or load the indicators on your scanner. And in NinjaTrader, the scanner is called the Market Analyzer. On TradeStation, it's called the radar screen. So that's just the names they call their scanners. And so when you load our software into any place like that, you'll automatically get asked for an authorization key, an unlock key. And those are things that we send you in the email. So when you place an order and you tell us what platform you have, we send those keys to you. All right. Now, with each and every new purchase, you get 30 days of what we call Platinum Software Care. And this is a service where we have one of our software engineers remote onto your computer and install the software for you. And he can come back and adjust things if you need, or if you want to try another platform, you can do that. You have 30 days, and then you decide which platform you want to use, and then we lock you into that platform. And then after 30 days, if you have to have them come back for whatever reason, maybe you have a hard drive crash, there is a fee involved in that. It's called Platinum Software Care, but we give that to you for 30 days to get you squared away when you first purchase software. Nothing more annoying than buying something and then having to purchase something else to get it installed, right? All right, so I'm not a big fan of that. So we like to make sure you get taken care of when you buy software that way. All right, so in all the instructions, there are software. If you want to do it yourself, you can do it yourself. There's a full set of software instructions inside that folder that's inside the zip file. So when you download the software that you purchased, it includes the installation instructions as well. Okay, so please note that. That's really important. All right, any questions on that? Any questions so far? Everybody pretty good on that? All right, good. I don't see anything coming in. All right, next thing I want to cover is, what do you think about GBTC? GBTC is an ETF for Bitcoin. You may be trading the Bitcoin upfront account, but it's been doing pretty well. All right, and so hopefully you got in early. Our more subscribers got in around $9. We initiated a buy on that. I think, folks, this thing will have a pullback, but I think you're probably good to stay in this for most of 2024, the entire year. I think this is going to go up. Now, it's not going to go straight up. We're going to have zigs and zags, and it's going to do that type of thing. You have some profit taking coming in, but you should be good to go on this. And I would anticipate it breaking out and making new highs probably this year, I would think, latter half of this year. I'm kind of waiting for a pullback to add on to some positions, but we should get that because we've been going up really since October, the entire market, including Bitcoin. So I imagine we get a pullback into this pullback target zone, and then we get more highs. However, we have a green PTF still on the 60-minute chart, so I don't think it's done going up. I think we're still going to see another high before we have any significant profit taking on that. So that's kind of where you're at now. All right, so we'll look at this again next week and see, but I don't see too much softness in that quite yet, though it's getting close. We are seeing bearish divergence on the 60-minute chart here. We're starting to see it inside here, but I would anticipate another high based on this PTF. And then if that turns yellow, then that may be the last hook up before we go down. I covered hooks in some of my previous client support webinars, so you may want to check those out. They're really a kind of a neat way to increase your odds that a trend is almost over when you see the last remaining hook with bearish divergence. Okay, so keep an eye on that. All right, so kind of that's where we're at there. All right, so let's see. Anybody else have anything? Courses, if you're taking our courses, all right, you're certainly a client of ours, so you can come here and ask questions on courses as well. All right, I'm going to quickly go over a little bit on the Elliott wave scanner for a moment, because I'm getting a couple of questions on that, so I kind of want to go over that real quick. And we've had a couple of people buy that recently, so I'm going to put up the whiteboard here. Oh, before I do that, let me just do this. Let me just show you the Elliott wave scanner is this set of columns right here. Okay. Elliott wave 3 and Elliott wave 5 right there. And what it does is whatever markets you have loaded into that, it's going to take a look and see if we're in a bullish Elliott wave 3 or if we are in an Elliott wave 5. And notice on GBTC here, which is loaded, we're indicating an Elliott wave 3, and that's kind of exactly what we're in. And after this pullback, we'll get one more leg up, and then it will top again. We'll get a big ABC, and then it will go back to the upside again. So long term, you want to be in this. If you're trading this based on the daily chart, you're going to want to probably get out and then get back in, that type of thing, swing trade it. So that's where it works. Up here in the market analyzer, if you're using TradeStation, it works on radar screen. But I want to kind of go over a little bit of how it works here. So we all know that in an Elliott wave, all right, and if you don't, I'll teach you, okay? So let me do a little straighter line than a hook. All right, so if you're in to Elliott wave, you know you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the trend ends, right? Ends right there, and then you get a big correction. So that's kind of the Elliott wave. So there are 5 waves in a trend, and then after the trend, you get a change in direction of some sort. If we analyze the Elliott wave a little more accurately, so you have a wave 1, then you have a wave 2, which is the profit-taking correction wave, and then you have a wave 3, which is your biggest and most powerful wave. Then you have a wave 4, which is a profit-taking wave, and then you have your final wave up, which is wave 5, reaching new highs but it's usually not as powerful as wave 3, okay? So how do we measure all this powerful and whatnot? Well, we have something called the owl at the bottom, right? And the owl is a oscillator that we use to measure momentum. And the momentum is highest. It's a histogram, highest always on wave 3. Then you have wave 4. Wave 4 has to have a negative owl. And then you have wave 5. And wave 5 owl cannot exceed the height of wave 3 owl. All right. And then it comes down. And once you reach the target zone for wave 5, and this goes red again, then at that particular point, you can assume with probability that the trend is done. All right. So basically what we're looking at here is a way in which we can help measure a wave 3. So if wave 3 has the highest owl, and we look at the chart and we see it's very, very steep, then chances are that is indeed a wave 3, which increases the accuracy of knowing where you are in the cycle of the movement. So you know after a wave 3, you're going to have profit taking, okay? So if you look at a market and you're way up here, and this trend is pretty mature, and you're starting to see the owl come down a little bit, but it's not negative, then you probably are better off waiting and not going into that trend until wave 4 is over, and then look for wave 5, right? Okay, so that's kind of some of the strategies we use in Elliott Wave and our software. Now, I'm going to erase this and redraw it in a couple of things that are important. Have you ever noticed a basing market? You'll have a move out, and then you think that's going to be a big move, and maybe it's a fake out, and then it moves back down and does something like this again. And then you get another one, and then that one goes, all right? So this area, okay, your first breakout when looking for a new trend is kind of difficult because you may get a false breakout. There's some things we look at in terms of counting the Elliott wave on the left side. You know, is the trend done here? And is there a chance for it to move up? Are we in a corrective wave up and the trend will continue down later? Those are all questions that you can answer when you get a little more sophisticated at it. But what we've done with the scanner is we've tried to eliminate false starts like this. And so what the scanner does is it doesn't look for an Elliott wave 1, because a lot of Elliott wave 1s are false breakouts. They aren't ones, all right? Instead, what we like to do is wait for the pullback, make sure the bottom holds, and then wait for the resurgence going above wave 1. Look at the owl, make sure it's starting to increase. And then we have a higher probability here that we are in a more significant new trend to the upside, that being wave 3. So when we talk about the scanners, all right, a lot of times people will say, well, why doesn't the scanner show wave 1? And the reason for that is we want to eliminate the false breakouts. But we will get you in on wave 3 when we're sure wave 2 is over and we've taken out the high of wave 1. Then the scanner is going to start to seriously look for, or give you the reading at that point that we're in a wave 3. And so once we have this formula met, it usually is a pretty high probability, all right, that we're in wave 3, and we want to tell you that. And so the scanner will tell you Elliott wave 3 when these requirements have been met. So no wave 1 is discussed, but don't worry, wave 3 is a higher probability trade, and it will move a lot quicker. And also too, if you get into wave 1, you might get in here, but then you have to survive the pullback, okay? And some people don't like to do that or are not expecting that when they're expecting this to be a new trend, right? So it's probably better to wait and get in here. And you might even get a pyramid in here too, who knows, okay? So that is kind of what we wait to do. So the Elliott wave scanner tells us that scenario. So then if we go up here, we have this wave 3 top. The next thing you want to look at is when you scan for the markets, depending on when you scan, if your scan picks up an Elliott wave 3, but you didn't scan earlier and missed the better entry, and you're way up here, you're better off not trading that, okay? Because again, you don't want to chase the markets, right? So better to get in here or here. And the answer is here, right? So you want to try to get into a wave 3 as soon as you can so you can enjoy the benefits of that big move up. So then, so the scanner will tell you this, and then you have a wave 4, a profit taking. All right, now remember, you have the owl, highest owl on wave 3, right? The scanner is looking at all this, okay? And then during wave 4, you have to have a negative owl for it to be a real wave 4 on this time frame, on the time frame you're looking. So this has to be red. And then once you draw your fibs in and you have a target zone and you see the owl going green again, and you see another pattern emerging, okay, then the scanner is going to take a look at that and go, oh, okay, we got a wave 5 coming up. So now you're going to see a wave 5 on that market, indicating we are in wave 5. All right, so the owl has to go bullish, and we have to see some movement back up. And you know, we would like to see it in the target zone based off of fib retracement too, right? So we kind of like to see that as well. All right, and then basically if you can get in early here, then you take that up, draw your fib extensions, and there's wave 5, and start to trail your stops really close when you get into the wave 5 target zone. So the Elliott wave scanner, all right, will show you wave 3 and 5, which is your biggest and best impulsive waves. Those are the ones you don't want to miss in the Elliott wave, okay? So that's why the scanner focuses on Elliott wave 3 and 5. So I wanted to cover that because I had some questions on that coming in, and I think that's important to take a look at. Any questions on that? Any questions on that? Yes, all time frames. And it can be used, you know, on the 1 minute time frame. It can be used on all time frames. You need to just be able, if you want to use it on an intraday time frame, I think the default for all the scanners, I think, are daily charts, but you can change that setting in the settings area, okay? So let me just show you that really quick here, because that's kind of a neat thing. So if we go up to the scanners here, right click, go to columns, okay? And then, for example, if I'm looking at the Elliott wave, I go here, and notice that it shows the day. So I'm scanning on this time frame for the day. Now let me show you something else, okay? Let's go down to my day trading time frames. We'll take a look at those. All right, so let's go here. All right, and then let's take a look at the MES, okay? And so here's the MES. We have no Elliott wave here, okay, because it's a channeling market, so it's yellow. But what I want to show you here is if we go to the columns, okay, notice under Elliott wave, we've got it set up for 1 minute. So it's scanning all the 1 minute charts. So you can set, by setting the scanners, and this is all in the instructions, you can adjust these, okay, for whatever. Now here's an MBT, okay, which is the Bitcoin micro, all right, and this is, you know, a futures market, and notice it's in Elliott wave 3, and you can see that here on the scanner as well as on the owl. Now when you buy the scanner, you're not buying the owl. The scanner's built, the owl's built into the scanner, okay, so that's important to note. So it's looking at that. But if you want to see, for example, the owl on your chart, you have to purchase the owl charting software, okay? But that's what it's doing, all right? And it does a great job, all right? A little too late to get into this one. It would have been better if you got in earlier, okay? Like down in here, okay? So just kind of food for thought there. But that's how those work, all right? They're really cool, okay? And here's the bearish one developing here, okay? On MCL now, coming down. And notice you have a red PTF, so more lows coming. All right, so a little pullback with more lows. This would not be a bad PTF trade pretty soon. I'd wait for the red owl to change over on the 1 minute. So it doesn't matter. Time frames don't matter, okay? You can do long-term, you can set it up for a weekly if you wanted to. So that's the kind of situation. So we use those scanners when we're looking for markets to trade, and they're just outstanding. All right. All right, well, we've come to the end of our session. I kind of covered what I wanted to cover today, and I hope everybody's having a great new year, okay? And we'll post this in our normal place. You know, we put this in our YouTube channel, but it's in the unlisted areas because we like to keep these private. But you can access all the recordings through the client support portal where you log in with your username and password, and then click a button and it will take you to the unlisted videos on YouTube, okay? So definitely check those out. We have a lot of them there. So you can always find, I always try to put a little topic heading up there too. So if you're looking for, like, you know, how to use the trade size calculator or the risk to reward calculator, I try to put that in there if we covered it on that session. All right, so thanks everybody. We'll see you back here next week, and have a really great week and a happy new year to everybody. Take care.